Gonna fire off the Aqua Tail for some chip damage, and then it's Shadow Mawile time. This top meta threat, known as Registeel, aka the stupid tin can, can do absolutely nothing. Mawile gonna shield once, Firefang farm all the way down and leave absolutely loaded. Welcome back to the channel, a place I like to call the home of Shadow Pokemon. I was the first documented trainer in the world to reach legend only using Shadow Pokemon. Recently, as we're at the business end of the season, we've been showcasing some more meta relevant teams you can all climb with. However, today we're back to basics with a very oppressive triple Shadow team that rips through the Great League in no time at all, courtesy of the thekurtzcannon. Huge shout out to the thekurtzcannon for the incredible battle submission. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we'll use Shadow Dragonair into Trevenant, Dragon Breath tearing apart this stupid tree. We fire off the Aqua Tail. The opponent lets it go. They farm up well past the Shadow Ball. The thekurtzcannon happy to let Dragonair go down. However, the opponent goes for the world's stupidest masturbating session, meaning Dragonair wins the zero shield. The opponent now send out the Bear Trap. The Bear Trap gonna have a little drink. Aqua Tail lands for super effective damage, and they're now almost down to half health. The thekurtzcannon now turning that heat right up, sending out Mawile. The Bear Trap getting melted by the Firefang damage. The opponent again go for a stupid bait. They've got Swampert in the back, and it's going to be RPS for the win. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see the battle of the Dragon types. Dragon Breath versus Dragon Tail. We're tearing each other to pieces. The opponent pivot out, looking to catch the body slam on the tin can. The thekurtzcannon says no, fires off the Aqua Tail for some chip and dip damage, and here comes Mawile. Seriously, show me a better sight than this stupid top meta tin can getting melted alive. The opponent fires off the Zap Cannon. We see no debuff. Mawile gets the full Firefang farm down, and we are absolutely loaded. The opponent now send out Lantern, and we're going for the Iron Head. The opponent commits a shield, fearful of the play rough. We don't have, but you've always got to fake it till you make it. The thekurtzcannon now fires off the power up punch, ramping up the resisted Firefangs. Lantern might be thick, but the resisted damage has almost got him down to half health. The opponent farms up a boatload of energy, fire off the surf. Down goes Mawile, and here comes Venusuar. Venusuar does resist all moves from Lantern, however we've got hardly any bulk, and that hits for a lot of resisted damage. The opponent then go for the wham bam combo play, sending out Como. We shield up the Dragon Claw, pivot out into Dragonair, we get the snipe. Back out comes Lantern, we've got the body slam locked and loaded. The opponent let it go. Dragon Breath gets him down to almost 1 HP and a dream. The opponent farms up to the Thunderbolt. The Vine Whip will take him out. The resisted Thunderbolt will not take us out, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Dragonair into Sableye. Dragon Breath tearing apart the opponent. The thekurtzcannon goes for the double resisted body slam bait, perhaps trying to 5-head the opponent, imagining they'd attempt to make a catch. However, we drew a shield. The opponent didn't catch. We're going to shield the foul play in return. We've already seen we win. Charge move priority. This time we are going for the kill shot of the Aqua Tail. Is the opponent willing to go down 2 shields? Yes, they are. The thekurtzcannon could shield in return and win lead. However, I prefer this play, to be honest, as both our back 2 Pokemon definitely need shields. We come into Venusaur, look for the Vine Whip farm down. The thekurtzcannon recognises he's not going to get it, so he pivots out into Mawile to catch the resisted foul play, and in the process saving a shield for Venusaur. The opponent now send out Lantern, and Mawile pretty hopeless in this matchup on this moveset. We fire off the power up punch, Lantern farms up, gonna throw the surf, and we're putting it all on Venusaur looking to sweep. Surf takes us out, we send back out Venusaur. Venusaur can tank this surf, no problem whatsoever. However, we're already now down to around half health. The opponent continues to stay in, so we throw the Frenzy Plant on the CMP tie. Frenzy Plant vanquishes them back to their Pokeball. The opponent's final Pokemon is Umbreon. The only lose con for the thekurtzcannon at this stage would be the opponent making a very nice catch on their 1 HP Sableye. The thekurtzcannon throws 1 Vine Whip and the second Frenzy Plant in the middle of the style animation, preventing any such sneaky catch. We can easily shield up this foul play, Vine Whip farm down the remainder of the team, and take a very nice dub. In the next battle, we see Dragonair into Ninetales. Holy crap, dreadful. We see the pivot into Venusaur. Venusaur taking super effective from the Ice type damage. We see the instant shield deployed on the Weather Ball. The opponent can stay in and win this matchup as they heavily outpace Venusaur. The thekurtzcannon farms up, fires off the Frenzy Plant on the CMP tie to the next Weather Ball. The opponent commits the shield. The thekurtzcannon now all shields down. The Kurtzcannon farms up, attempts to CMP tie to the next weather ball. The opponent smartly doesn't play to the CMP tie that they would not win. They then commit to the fall. Powder Snow farm down and things are looking dreadful. Mawile does resist all moves, however that isn't the biggest issue. The main issue is we've got two of the squishiest Pokemon in the Great League with no Protect Shields remaining and things have gone from bad to worse. The opponent sends out Metachan. We withstand the Ice Punch, make the Iron Head, and Iron Head is going to land for heavy neutral damage. Getting Metachan into the yellow, we look for Snipe with Dragonair and we get the Snipe. Come on, is this game winnable? Surely not. The opponent sends out Lantern. Okay, we've got a chance. The opponent goes straight for the Surf, and Surf definitely not going to get the job done. We might be squishy, but we're not that squishy. We fire off the first Body Slam, which gets Lantern down to around half health. The opponent then pivot out for the Wham Bam combo play Weather Ball. Going to be returning us to our Pokeball. Back out comes Mawile, and we Simul KO and unfortunately take a loss. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we lead Dragonair into Metachan. Yes, I did say Metachan as in M-E-T-A-Chan. If you know, you know. The opponent didn't fancy that matchup, so they send out Licky, far too thicky. However, Dragonair says Licky, not thick enough. As we actually win this in the zero shields. If the opponent doesn't shield, you're about to see is Licky, not that thicky after all. We secure the knockout, actually able to flip switch against one of the most bulky Pokemon in the league. The opponent now send out their Meta Fighter, commit to the counter farm down, and the Kurtzcannon sends out Mawile. The opponent then pivot out into Bastiodon, aka Wallface, and here comes Shadow Venusaur. Bastiodon, by far my least favourite Pokemon in the whole of PvP because it's so fucking slow, so annoying. It takes 6 years to make charge moves and essentially all it does is attempt RPS opponents. However, Venusaur's so oppressive, we're going to be spamming out Frenzy Plants far quicker than they can ever reach a charge move. The opponent commits that first shield. Venusaur already at the next Frenzy Plant is Bastiodon, willing to 2 shield. They are not back out, comes Metachan. The Kurtzcannon putting all his hopes and dreams on the back of Mawile. Let's see if that is the correct play. We're going straight for the power up punch, looking to vamp up our Fire Fang damage. The opponent doesn't shield. Can Metachan withstand the heat? Mawile sneaks the Fire Fang. The Kurtzcannon commits the shield on the Ice Punch. Does Metachan make another move? No, the opponent on 1 HP and a dream reach the Ice Punch and manage to take a very close game. In the next battle, we see Knockdown in the lead. The Kurtzcannon has reshuffled his deck, sending out Mawile, and it looks to be pretty advantageous as we do resist the wing attacks. However, we do have to be mindful of the Shadow Ball. We see the shield deployed. The opponent full sends the Shadow Ball. They then pivot out into Lantern, and hi Lantern, meet your worst fucking nightmare. Lantern gonna fire off the Thunderbolt, but Thunderbolt just doesn't get the job done. Venusaur can now overfarm. Throw on the CMP tie. The Kurtzcannon actually chooses not to CMP tie. No, when he survives that Surf, we're actually farming up to the back-to-back charge moves. I like this play, to be honest, as Frenzy Plant will be lethal, and when knocked out does return, it's going to get a Sludge Bomb to the face. Sludge Bomb from Venusaur hits like an absolute truck, commanding a shield. Knockdown now gets the full wing attack farm down. We send out Mawile, look to go for the Iron Head, however the opponent makes a catch onto Metachan, and here comes Dragonair. Both Dragonair and Metachan both take 12 turns to reach their respective charge moves in Ice Punch and Body Slam. However, Dragonair, with the higher attack, wins the CMP tie. The opponent commits the shield. The Kurtzcannon gonna match, then commit to the full Dragon Breath farm down. The opponent's knocked out with a whole heap of work to do, as Dragonair's still a real menace. Firing off the Body Slam, Knockdown now into the red. The opponent needs to throw before we make the next charge move. Knockdown now, so low. Sky Attack takes us out. Back out comes Mawile, and the opponent gets Fire Fang farm down, and we take yet another beautiful dub. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see a great lead. Dragonair into Lantern. The opponent staying in, which is a pretty questionable choice, as this is not a good matchup for that very annoying electric fish. The opponent fires off the Surf. We shrug it off. The Kurtzcannon farms up, returns fire with the Body Slam. Body Slam goes unshielded, and Lantern now into the red. The Kurtzcannon gets some very annoying stutter lag, allowing Lantern to make the Thunderbolt, and holy crap, this matchup is so close despite us hitting for neutral the entirety of the time and the stupid electric fish only hitting for resisted. We do lead. The opponent now send out Metachan. They get a 1 counter head start. The Kurtzcannon could send out either Pokemon, however opts to send out Venusaur. Due to our poison typing, the counters are resisted. However, due to our grass typing, Ice Punch would be super effective, and the Psychic would also be super effective. The Kurtzcannon shields up the Ice Punch, farms up, returns fire with the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant draws a Protect Shield, the opponent already at the next Ice Punch. The Kurtzcannon now all shields down. The Kurtzcannon continues to overfarm. He's farmed up to the back-to-back Frenzy Plants. The opponent, if they shield the first, they're going to get hit with the second. We win CMP. Metachan going to be denied of the Ice Punch, and Venusuar vanquishes Metachan back to their Pokeball. The opponent's final Pokemon is Shadow Vic. Do we make the Sludge Bomb? We do not. However, High Vic. Meet Mawile. Mawile going to be able to Fire Fang farm all the way down. The opponent does make a charge move. However, despite it being Shadow and Shadow Climb, Leaf Blade doesn't do enough damage. Mawile withstands the Leaf Blade, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see Shadow Dragonair into Shiny Obstagoon. I think this is an XX small Obstagoon as it's fucking tiny. The opponent going to strike first with the Night Slash. Despite them being pretty small, that still does some solid chip damage. The opponent then send out Dragonite, and Dragonite going to be met with the Body Slam eventually after we stop lagging. My god, do we have some response to this Dragonite Mawile. Due to our Steel Fairy typing, triple resist these Dragon Breaths. We shield up a Dragon Claw. I believe that's a pretty poor shield for being perfectly honest. However, the opponent sends back our Obstagoon, and we're going to fire off the double super effective power-up punch. The opponent commits the shield. The Fire Fangs now tearing through the opponent. We are now going to see the last shield invested on a potential cross chop. The opponent goes for the Night Slash. Perhaps they're running Obstruct. However, Mawile doesn't give a flying fuck what they're running. We're already at the second. Double super effective power-up punch. Then look to snipe with Dragonair. The opponent then send out Charm, Alolan Ninetales, and here comes Venusaur. Venusaur easily going to be able to outpace to the Sludge Bomb. It's going to be high Ninetales by Ninetales. Get absolutely fucking wrecked. And the opponent ruins my fun and concede the match. In the next battle, we see a bit of a core break of the team. However, Dragonair doesn't do too bad into Frostlass, nor does Venusaur, as Venusaur hits like an absolute truck. We see the instant shield deployed on the Avalanche. The Kurtzcannon now continuing to farm up, and the opponent sends out the giant tin can. Venusaur does only hit for resisted, but Shadow Venusaur on the Great League hits like an absolute truck. It only takes 3 Frenzy Plants to knock this stupid tin can out. The second one gets them into the yellow, and the opponent is going to be forced to dump energy as soon as they get it. We see the instant no shield deployed. Focus Blast, even resisted, returns us to our Pokeball. In comes Dragonair. Can we get the resisted? Dragon Breath farm down. The Kurtzcannon opts to fire off an Aqua Tail, not risking getting hit with a charge move, and we're seeing the pivot into Mawile. The opponent stays in with Frostlash. Trainer, you're not triple weak to fire, surely not. We shield up the Shadow Ball. And then we see the Bear Trap enter the arena. My god, triple weak to fire. Holy crap, Mawile fires off the power-up punch. We see Stunfisk commit that protection. They're going to need to Earthquake to take us out. Earthquake will be vanquishing us. Back to our Pokeball. It's now all down to Dragonair. Dragonair's going to have to try and resist the Dragon Breath. Farm all the way down. We make an Aqua Tail. However, the opponent still with 1 Protect Shield. Too high beyond. They shield it up. The opponent at Earthquake number 2. Can Dragonair tank an Earthquake? Absolutely not, and unfortunately we take a loss. And unfortunately that is going to draw to a close today's shoutcast. A huge shout out to the Kurtzcannon for a really fun showcase of a triple Shadow, triple Glass Cannon team in the Open Great League. As you can see from these battles, if you want to win quick or lose pretty quick, this is definitely a team to fly through your battles. The Kurtzcannon did also send me another 2 sets of battles of a more meta-relevant team involving Shadow Swampert, Shadow Venusaur and Frostlass. So if you'd like to see that team, post down below and I'll get that shoutcast. But if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, link to the battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.